It's time for Chat with Chuck, live from Windsor, California, discussing stuff on Chuck's mind, life, attitudes, and stuff. And now, your host, Chuck the DJ.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Tuesday, beautiful Tuesday afternoon up here in Northern California. We're at about 92 degrees or something like that. And Dance DJ Deb, welcome in. Tacos Tuesdays, how you doing? Sam Nation, 3000, welcome in. For those of you that may be listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube later, because I have such a huge fan base on YouTube, I want to say thank you for listening and downloading. I remind you one more time that I do have a live chat going on, and sometimes I pay attention to my live chat, and it kind of throws me off. It got mentioned to me last week, and so I just wanted to bring that up. Remind you one more time. Yeah, there is real life people watching the show as I make it, and I do appreciate the people that come out here and hang out and listen and chime in the chat. Because it is called Chat with Chuck, not Chat Chuck or Chuck Chats or any of that other kind of stuff. I do love and appreciate the input I get from the chat, and the mic seemed a little bit loud right there, so I turned it down a little bit. Yeah, so we have a good show today. We're going to be talking about, and I know we touched bases on this, 2-3 episodes ago, but we're going to be talking mainly about Twitch, Bitties, and subs. Attitudes and how-tos and all that kind of stuff, and I reached out to a number of streamers, and I got 7 or 8 responses about attitudes and thoughts and ideas on Twitch, Bitties, and subs. Now, that may not pertain to other platforms, whether it be Kick or LFG, but over here on the Twitch world, the Bitties and subs. Apparently, they carry a lot of weight, and attitudes are divided on them, and so we're going to get into that in just a little bit. But as usual, I'm going to kill a few minutes here, just kind of talking and saying hi and welcoming everybody. In case we have some last-minute stragglers, I don't want to kind of get into the meat of things, so people go, well, wait a minute. I do appreciate that. Also, I talked about it a little bit last week. Radioactivity, welcome in. Thank you coming in. I shared a little bit of Chuck history, a couple of little DJ stories on Chuck the DJ, and I got a couple emails or messages, and they kind of enjoyed that. So I might share something that I hopefully. I know I probably have shared before because I've been streaming now for 5 years and mouthing off for longer, and I may have shared these stories before. So I'm gonna share some stuff, kind of what I call maybe some event horror stories, things that have happened throughout my world. Coot, how you doing? Oh, thank you for the subscription. I do appreciate that. Nice, I appreciate that. Speaking of subscriptions, LFG. I understand now, since we're going to kill a little time, we can talk about LFG for a second or two, that the Android app is out for LFG, and I hadn't, last time we talked about this, at least in any kind of depth, the app wasn't out yet, and I kind of voiced my concern about how LFG should have waited before all their ducks were in a row before they launched, because when they launched and people were, well, they don't have an app, that sucks, and so that was one of the things. So, but they should have waited. I think they should have waited personally. I think LFG should have waited until they got their apps lined up and all their other stuff that they are going to do as I've heard. I think they should have waited, but whatever, they do what they do. They make their own rules, kind of like what we do down here at Chuckwood Golf Resort. I don't know if anybody's used the LFG app. If you have, if you want to chime in on the chat and kind of let me know how it's going. I have not streamed on LFG. I am logged in there. I signed up early on when it first came out. and but I haven't streamed. I wanted to kind of, not that anybody else was going to steal the name Chuck the DJ CA, but I wanted to make sure that I got my name in there. And then about a week or two ago, I saw a thing. You signed up, but haven't been on radioactivity. I saw a thing that came out that said, I think it was last Friday, was the deadline to sign up and be considered one of the founders. And they were saying that if you signed up by, I think it was like last Friday night by midnight, you'd be considered one of the founders, and you'd get a little special founders badge. And honestly, I haven't been back on LFG to see if I got a little founders badge, because I don't know. Do you have to stream in order to also be a founder, or did you just have to sign up and get your name there? So I'll wait and see. Maybe after our show today, maybe I'll log on there and see what's going on. I know there are a few people that are doing the multi-stream thing there. More power to them. I hope it works out well for you. I don't know if there's anybody in the chat here that is restreaming over there. So you got the Founders Badge, Coot? Nice. And I know Coot is not a streamer, right? If I'm not mistaken. What is the? You want to tell me what the Founders Badge? I mean, is it like a whoop-de-doo, or is it like the little purple dots that you get? The purple dots that you get here on Twitch. I was like, oh, look, a purple dot. I battled to become a partner, and I got a purple dot. That's cool. So I don't know. We'll how many times can I say we'll? We'll check that out. I'll get on there afterwards, and we'll see. I haven't watched too many people on Let's LFG yet. I watched KGB for a little while a couple weeks ago and stuff like that. Hooking up the headphones so you can hear me. Yeah. So whatever. So a little bit later, at the end of the chat, I have this thing called Run to the Chat, where if somebody wants to bring up something, if you want to talk about Let's LFG again, or Kick, or as I like to call LFG, Kick 2.0, or anything else, as we're listening, as we're rolling along. If you've got something that you want to talk about, we can do that. Now you can hear clear. Good. Yay. And we can talk about that kind of stuff, or kind of an open format. But I think we're what, 6 minutes, 7 minutes into the show. I think it's about time maybe that we can get into some of the meat of the show. I keep looking at my monitor down here, and one of these days I've got to get better lighting and a better camera, because I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to worry about it. So let's talk. Let's talk about biddies and subs on Twitch. Mr. Latin House, how you doing? If you're a streamer and you have not hooked up with Mr. Latin House yet, you should probably do that. If you're listening and you're a streamer and you get on Twitch, look up Mr. Latin House. He puts on these amazing raid trains, and long, like 4, 5, 6, 7 day raid trains with 40, 50, 60 DJs. And I know from time to time he is looking for DJs to cover some of those slots. So if you are a DJ in and you like to do raid trains, hook up with Mr. Latin House. You see 22 minutes in, because I start streaming about 15 minutes beforehand, just to make sure that all my gear is working, and make sure all the sound works, and speaking of raid trains, kind of the same thing. I start early to make sure there's no problems. If I wait to 5 minutes beforehand, or start streaming right at 4 o'clock, if I have some sort of technical issue, it's going to completely screw up the show. So I always try to show up early to get things rolling, to make sure everything's logged on, and pictures are working, and computers, because I am not a computer guy. Technology is not my friend. So if I have an issue, it takes me a while. Or forget to plug something in, as Coot Nate says. And I feel the same way about my DJ shows. When I'm doing a wedding or a corporate event, I have 2 this weekend. I got one on Thursday, which actually is just doing sound for a band, a trio at a fundraiser, and then on Saturday I'm doing another fundraiser, a corporate fundraiser, and I'm playing yacht rock. they want a yacht rock theme. So those are my two IRL gigs this week. So it should be pretty easy, pretty fun. But anyway, I show up real early on those, and I, as a DJ, I don't mind getting places early, getting set up, and having, an hour and a half, whatever, before the show starts. For those exact same reasons. If I have a problem, I want time to fix it. I don't want to be stressed out. I don't want to be, getting all sweaty and then just having to start the show in a huff and a puff. Show up early. If you're a DJ, if you're a mobile DJ out there and you're listening, show up to your events early. What if you have a problem? And if you've been in the field long enough, like me, you know that things happen, even if they're out of your control. Vehicle problems or wrecks on the freeway. Or one time I was driving to a school up through the forest, and the tree fell down and blocked the road, and I had to turn around and backtrack about 30 miles, and still made it to the school in time. Was not late for the show. So yeah, start your shows early if you're twitching, if you're raid training, if you're a mobile DJ and you're going to an event, get there early so you don't have any problems, and if you do, you have time to fix them. All right. Bitties and subs. So I sent out an email, text, message to a number of Twitch streamers, and basically put it to them saying, how important are they? How important are biddies and subs? What works to get biddies and subs? What doesn't work? What is your overall attitude towards Twitch biddies and subs? And once again, if you're in the chat, whether you're a streamer or whether you're a viewer, if you want to share some thoughts or ideas on that, and I'd love to hear it. I'd love to be able to work it, and even if you're out there lurking, if you want to maybe break your lurk mode and type something in, that would be great. So anyway, that's what went out into the world. That's what I sent out. Give me your thoughts, give me your ideas, give me your feelings on biddies and subs. And so as I do, without using names, I will not use names. I will not out anybody. I'm going to read a few of the responses and then maybe give my thoughts or opinions on this on their responses. And not sure. Well, Coot, Trish, hi, welcome in. A couple of my episodes, when we were talking about other things, I said good, bad, and ugly. And so, I want the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you've got something positive, now I don't want thrash, I don't want drama, I don't want that kind of stuff. If you've got a viewpoint on something, I would hope that it is a comes from personal experience, not just something down the line. So, one of the things is one of the Dance Dance DJ Deb, how you doing? One of the things that I ask is, do you ask for subs? Do you ask for biddies? Is that something that is helpful that you have found? This is what one streamer said to me. He said, is asking helpful? Yes, but not always. There are times that I get people to cheer bits because I ask, and there are times that I beg and get nothing. My partner doesn't ask. People rarely cheer bits when my partner is on, unless they don't realize he is on. People cheer bits more often right after I have asked than they do on their own. So yes, asking helps, but not always. I have a theory that people that talk more in a specific way get more bits than people who don't. And referring to me, he says, you talk more than I do, but not in the specific way, those that get more bits. And I do talk a lot when I stream. I mean, when I have a normal day stream, if I do these shows on usually Monday and Wednesday nights, because they're called Mellow Monday and Hump Day Mellow, where I play kind of chill music, and I call them micless nights. And if you're a streamer, think about DJing without or streaming without your mic. Now I know a lot of streamers, and Dance DJ Deb is one of them. Victor, off the top of my head, is one. Stam Nation doesn't talk but they stay active in the chat, and so even those nights that I have not micless nights, like my mod Tina Baby likes, I stay active in the chat. So he's saying that the more that you chat, the more that you interact with your audience. I have never asked for biddies or subs, and as he has. Now, a couple of these streamers that I asked for are full-time streamers. That's what they do for a living. That's their job. That's their gig. And it's not mine. So maybe if it was a full-time event for me, if I was paying my bills doing this, maybe I would make it a point of saying, hey, I could use some money to pay my PG&E bill this month. So hey, if you want to drop a biddy or drop a sub, that'd be great. I've never been like that. I've never done that. Now this next one I really liked because they brought up a point that I never even thought of. Here we go. This may only apply to me, but I don't care for bits and subs. I would even prefer turning off bits, subs, and hype trains. I don't need them. That's not why I'm on Twitch. Now, this first paragraph I relate to. I've taken a couple breaks from Twitch, as some of you have known, and by breaks I mean I've stopped and said I'm not coming back. And one of them was because my ego, which we've talked about before, was getting hurt because I wasn't getting biddies and subs. So when I came back, I wanted to do exactly this. I wanted to turn them off. And I couldn't find a way to turn off the biddies and the subs. John Deeds, how you doing? Welcome in. But what I did was what you could do is you could make a minimum. What's the minimum that somebody has to put in there? And I think I put like it was 1,000 or 2,000 biddies was the minimum. None of this 1 or 10 or 100. If you want to do a biddies, the lowest you could do was 1,000, and I did that because that way I go, okay, well, cool. I know people aren't going to do that. I know nobody's going to, because I mean, 100 biddies for those. I mean, you probably all know this already. You're around. 100 biddies is basically $1, right? But 1,000 biddies is like $10. So I figured, well, nobody's going to, or very few are going to do that. So that was my way of agreeing with this statement here. It's like I would just soon turn them off, but you can't. But that's how I got around that. I have since changed my attitude on that. Trish says you have to have a schedule and consistent, and they'll give you more if they see that. That is a popular comment that came through some of these that I get, and I will admit, except for maybe this show right here, this which I'm trying to be consistent on Tuesdays at 4:00. My streams are not consistent anymore. I mean, am I on most Mondays and Wednesday nights? Yes, I am. But not last Monday or last Wednesday, but for example, or this last Monday, yesterday, last Monday, a week ago, I was just tired. And I just go, you know what? I just can't see going on. So I didn't. Now, if this was a gig, if this was my job, just like if I'm doing a wedding and I don't feel 100%, I go do the wedding anyway because I have to. A, you can't let the bride and groom down, but B, financially, I need to do that. Coot says life comes first, and yeah, he does, or it it does. Yes, thank you. Continuing on with this particular streamer, begging for dimes is kind of silly in my opinion. However, I don't turn them off because viewers want to support. They really do want to give you praise for a good stream, and I appreciate that. So I leave it on for them, and I'm very grateful for every bit and sub from viewers who enjoy my stream. I don't take it for granted. But when you have, Trish says, but when you have scheduled, it felt like you were reporting to a job. Yes. And I know we're going to be bouncing around here a little bit because I do appreciate the content in the chat. Yes. And that was another one of my own personal things. I didn't want to feel like I was tied to it. I go, if I want to stream, I want to stream. If I don't want to stream, I don't want to stream. Now, so I know personally from personal experience that inconsistency doesn't help you as a streamer. You used to do 3 times a week. Well, and I was too. And again, I am on most Mondays and Wednesdays. Sure, I am. But I'm not. Mr. Lattenhouse wants to come out to the resort, Chuckwood Golf Resort, and he wants to stream there. We have some beautiful areas for streaming out the resort. But yeah, so don't. This is a whole nother conversation we've talked about before. You got to stream because you enjoy it. Because you want to be streaming. The heyday of the big money, I think, during the lockdown, during COVID, when a lot of us were making more money, even I was making more money. Those have come and gone, right? And yes, there are streamers that are making a bunch of money, but overall, I don't think that's true. To continue, since my show is only an hour. And here comes the part that I never thought of before, and he brings this up. What I feel really gets subs is a streamer's emote game. If a streamer has good emotes, I will sub them for months, even if I never go to their stream, just to have the emotes. So instead of all artist emotes or a bunch of my face, I try to keep my emotes open enough so that it can be used for all kinds of chat situations. And I never thought of that. And that is true because there are a couple of people that I sub because I like their emotes. I never thought about that. My emotes are okay. I like my emotes. My emotes are but they're one of the things that's important to me for my moderators is for my moderators to have an emote for each moderator, right? And so I'm gonna. Well, let's see. Well, you really can't see him, but I Tennessee Girl and a Tina Baby and Alice and my boy DJ Ryan, my wife, Black Sheep Kajira, my normal mods. I mean, I have little emotes, just for them, and and I think that that's giving props to my mods. I'm putting some up there right there, but that's to me that's props to my mods, right? And but this makes a very good point. These mod emotes don't mean crap to Sam Nation or Trish. Well, why sub to get those emotes? Those are stupid emotes. They're not going to do me any good. So the emote thing was a very good thing. Continuing on, emotes like hello and good to see you go a long way with viewers. So I keep a lot of subs of my channel because people appreciate my emotes. I know an affiliate streamer who only has one emote, and while I like that streamer, I would never sub them. Got to have your emote game on point. I really don't like it when streamers beg for bits and subs. I know some have chosen to make Twitch their sole income, and I don't knock them. But at the same time, I don't get it. It reduces a streamer to a salesman consistently trying to sell you something instead of focusing on their music, which is why we are all on Twitch, for the music. I do agree with thanking your viewers for their bits and subs, though. That is a must. People are directly supporting you, and you want to acknowledge that from you. And I'm glad you pointed that out because now I don't feel bad because there have been times where I've dropped a sub or dropped biddies, and I never got any I never got a notice of that. Nobody told me, or I didn't see it, or they didn't see it, and I thought, well, gee, God, at least you could do is say thank you. That's Trish says some that gives us they are just bouncing money around. The other people give them back subs also. I meant to say, Trish says, oops. Coot, so glad he didn't include me in that list. So yeah, if you're a streamer, and I think we've talked about this before. If you're a streamer and you get subs, you get a biddy. Yeah, you really need to acknowledge that, and that will keep people coming back. I think again, it's you never really know. Trish says some people give subs and then the same person give them a sub on their channel, so they bounce back and forth to make it look like it's something. Yeah, and I got you now. I understand what you're saying. For example, my boy DJ Ryan 22. Well, sometimes it seems a little silly. I sub your channel, you sub my channel. I sub your channel, you sub my channel. Now we're not doing it for any other. We're not trying to motivate other people to sub or anything. It's just that we're trying to support each other. But it does seem a little silly sometimes. Well, I'm going to give you $5. Now give it back to me. No, you give me. But it is a nice way of doing. Now, if you're doing that, I think if you're doing that to try to get something going, If you're trying to get a hype train or you're trying to keep people trying to motivate others to do that, yeah, that's that board is on a little bit of tackiness, but but I'm not here. I'm not here to tell anybody how to run their Twitch channel. You know, I'm here to maybe talk about it, to throw some stuff out there, to see what people are doing. If you're doing that, you're wrong. But I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. But I don't want to make that person mad again. Or they'll send a person in their room to sub to get people to give. Yeah. Now I again, that's just your maybe your moderator, maybe your wife or your boyfriend, or your girlfriend, whatever. They see something going on, shenanigans, Stam Nation calls it. Yeah. I've been in that situation, where I've seen this, like, okay, well, we need, we almost got a hype train, down the last 30 seconds. And then, one of their moderators will drop a biddy, 100 biddies to get the hype train going. That's supportive, I guess. Is it tacky? Is it shenanigans? I don't know. But if it does get something started and makes people realize, because really, people are out here, the streamers are out here and they're streaming because hopefully, again, as we talked about, hopefully because they love it, but it's their time and it's their effort and it's their finances, even if you're not doing it for a living, it still costs money to get the music or to get the computer or get the lighting or get the camera or microphone or whatever. And I know not everybody is in a financial position to just, give a bunch of money. But dropping 100 biddies, again, that's $1. I think for $20, was it $20 you get like 1,500 biddies? Is that what it is? And then the DJ, if you drop 100 biddies, the DJ, Sam, tell me, you get 100 biddies, the DJ gets half that, gets 50 cents of that, something like that. So, help if you can, all right. Let me. The price went up from here. Yeah. Let me continue on here. It says, "Hey Chuck," it's very nice of him. In my experience, I have never asked for bits or subs. I leave it to the viewers to decide. I have also noticed that hype trains happen more during my regular shows and not during raid trains. My core audience, my regulars, are my biggest supporter. My motto is never expected, always appreciated. It's awesome when someone who is new to the channel gives bits out of nowhere. That really speaks volumes. Now that is that person's, that streamer's, that's their experience. That's their experience. Mine is yeah. I don't get hype trains all that often, one way or the other. I don't know if I get more when I'm just regular streaming or more when I do raid trains, and I love doing raid trains. It's probably about even. I get them when I get them, and I don't when I don't. So, but that streamer seems to believe he gets more hype trains, during his regular shows than he does, or excuse me, raid train. I'll get it out. He gets more hype trains during his regular show than he does on hype trains. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought maybe you might know, Sam. I don't know. I know that supposedly, I think when the DJ program started, the split went down. But it's not. Again, if you do $1, the DJ is not getting $1. The DJ is getting 60 cents. The DJ is getting 70 cents, something like that. It's not. It's not much. So this bears. Now a DJ is getting 45 cents. Okay, it has changed. Okay, so if you give somebody $1, 100 biddies, the DJ is getting 45 cents. Thank you. I knew it was changed. Thank you, Mr. Lattenhouse. So yeah, support if you can. This one says I get so many for my birthday, or if I tell them I currently have a hole in my ceiling. So DJ Apollo. Okay, now we're gonna battle. All right, Apollo, and if I had a moderator here, I'd be doing shout-outs. I apologize for not doing shout-outs for all you streamers that are in here. Oh, that's do you know what the breakdown is? I mean, and again, I'm not streaming. Oh, Mr. Lattenhouse, thank you. I'm not streaming for the bucks. I'm not trying to make money. So, I mean, when I get my payouts, I mean, I really don't pay attention. I go, oh, look, I got, I think last month my payout was 80 something dollars, you know? So it's like, hey, cool, we can go to Taco Bell a few more times. Yeah, so support if you can. Let's see. So anyway, so if this guy says, "Oh, it's my birthday," or have a hole in the ceiling, I don't ask for them. Subs, I think people subs, I think people like if you change up your emotes. I try to change mine every couple of months, which is funny because there's another emote comment. If you have good emotes, people are more apt to subscribe and then probably resubscribe because they like your emotes. They want to use your emotes, and so the only way they're going to use them is if they sub you. The breakdown is 30% of subs right off the top. Then you split with Twitch. Okay, so again, it's hard to make a living on Twitch. And those that are doing it are streaming a lot of hours, and they're busting their butt to do it. Um, yeah. Again, that was one of the discussion, Apollo, when the DJ program came on. A lot of guys were saying, I don't mind, giving the money for the DJ program if it makes it down to the artist, which is what they were talking about. Because the artist, I mean, without the artist, we wouldn't be here, right? So the artist should be making some money. So hopefully the money that they're taking does get down there. And yeah, Mr. Lattenhouse, all his money goes to the pancreatic cancer research. So yeah, that's awesome, and that's how he does it. Okay, so where am I at here? Okay, honestly, I just started using Stream Elements within the past week. I was able to gain followers as a result of the music. Now that it's more interactive for the viewer, I'm curious to see how many more followers I get and how many more subs and bits I'll receive. Prior to Streamlabs, they were sporadic. They've already increased in the past week. Interaction is the key. Now, I've always used Stream Elements, so I don't really know that. So, Coot says, I see paying $6 for a sub and the streamer only gets $1 is bad karma. I can't. How do I disagree with that? I'm not sure if that's the breakdown, but how do I disagree with that? It's like, as a DJ who works with agents, I always hate it when there is an agent that I has used in my past that, they'll book me and they'll make as much money booking me as I make doing the actual event. That rubs me the wrong way because I'm out there doing the event and I'm making $1,500, $2,000, whatever, and then the agent's making $1,500. And that's just not right. DJ Hack in the house. How you doing, DJ Hack? Yeah, Amazon takes more than it says. We're talking biddies and subs. So yeah, Coot's got proof. Let's see, where am I at here? Okay, this person refers to a streamer, and I'm gonna avoid that name so I'm not outing anybody. You may know who this person is when I start talking about it. Let me hydrate here for a second. Thank you all for being here and hanging out with me today. Let me hydrate. Sorry, give me a second. We do these every Tuesday at 4:00, and then I record this, and then I upload it, and I put it on YouTube. There, I just did that. I hear a buzzing in my headphones. I don't know what that is. Lockpick, finally made it home. How you doing? Welcome in, another great streamer in the house. How you doing, Lockpick? Talking about a person that puts on raid trains every Sunday, Lockpick's raid trains. Okay, so this is one streamer, and he does it one night a week. He basically, it's basically paying bits to request music, but it looks and feels more fun somehow. Whichever song has the most bits bet on, it gets played next. They list them on the screen so everyone can see who requested what and how much they paid. It kind of feels like a game show or something. So, yeah, just an idea of how this is I want to call it a gimmick, but I don't want to say that. I don't want to say gimmick in a bad way. Um, it's a way to it's just a way to generate that. This next comment is another gimmick, not again not bad. Just an idea. It says one streamer has a deal where she has a clock. The show will end when the clock runs out. If you want more time on the clock, people have to drop biddies or subs. It seems that when she gets down to 15 minutes, people start dropping those biddies and subs to keep the show moving. I know who this person is. I've been there. I've dropped biddies and subs to keep that clock rolling. Again, not good, not bad, but just different. Song requests get you paid too. They like that a lot. Yeah, I mean, my biggest problem with song requests, and we can get into this a little bit, and this might annoy some people. And if you happen to do this, I apologize. My Salami, how you doing? I'm a full-time mobile DJ. I buy all my music. I have all my music on my computer, right? Largely from Extendamix and a couple other DJ suppliers that I use. I don't stream off YouTube. I may rip a song occasionally off YouTube. So the problem with me saying, okay, hey, drop 100 biddies or 200 biddies or whatever, and I'll play your request. Well, it's only going to work if I happen to have that song, right? I do all my streaming stuff here in my studio garage, and my streaming computer has enough going on right now. I have one computer, and you can see it right there. One computer, and it has my stream elements. It's got my virtual DJ. It's got my chat programs. It's got my all my stuff, everything off one computer. So the last thing that I want to do is put something else on this computer to bog it down. Tidal, I know a lot of DJs that use Tidal, and they do that. I personally don't do that. I know some DJs that stream off YouTube. Some streamers that stream off. I know some DJs too, though. That's stupid. But if you're a streamer, it's a different thing. So yeah, that's the request thing for me. Now I have had there have been times during my show where somebody asked for a song, yeah. Shh! Don't tell anybody, Apollo. Don't tell anybody. Wait a second. Do I have this on this computer on this thing? I don't think I put it here. Here, this is going to be all right. I'm going to throw you guys off just for a second. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Let's go. No, this is. I'm doing this for Apollo. And if you've never watched DJ Apollo, this is a lot of times I use just this room right here where I show the whole video. But occasionally, when something comes up and Apollo's name comes up, I do this. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Apollo. And I will give any streamer fair warning. If you stream, if you put something out there, if it's live, I'm going to steal it and I'm going to put it if I like it, I'm going to put it out there. And if you're curious about why Apollo is wearing that beautiful red dress, well, you'll just have to type into his show or tap into his show and learn that. Kaiser, how you doing? Welcome in. Apollo, oops, my thing started back up. Apollo has been a wonderful supporter of me and very vocal during his shows about me, and I do appreciate that. I do appreciate the support, Apollo. Okay, we've gotten off the train. We've gotten off the tracks. I got a couple more here. Um, okay, I only got a couple more. Let's see. I have to say, I've always had no friggin' idea, and there is no logic to any of this. I know I put a ton of video visuals and high-end mixing many times with themes, and I can go several shows without any tips whatsoever. That doesn't mean people are not enjoying the show, at least they seem to be, and the chat follows that. I think the ones that get massive and mini raid trains are those that do live gigs in their area and they have a following online with them. My peeps are not all that local. I wish I knew because it's very frustrating to see someone that's just blabbering constantly over the mixes, and they may be talking about me on that one. Um, and has maybe three scenes to look at, and yet they have level 7 hype trains going off. So a frustrated streamer, right there. And Lockpick always talks over the mixes too. I don't have a song that I write it down for next time that is making them come back. And Deb, I do that too. I've told people that, oh, hey, I'm sorry I don't have that, but I'll have it for you next time, in the hopes that they come back. In the hopes that they come back. The Mario hat that Apollo wears is way more than Long's. Yeah, his personal fetish. I like the word fetish. All right. Yeah, I think his Mario hat kind of freaks me out, to tell you the truth, Lockpick. But that's all right. All right, I think I've got just like two more here, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. All right. Excuse me. Well, my people know that I'm a full-time streamer. I don't shy away from telling people that their support is what allows me to pay my bills. I also never expect it, and I'm always incredibly appreciative of any support. I never ever ask anyone to drop bits or subs. As far as why some people get more subs and bits than others, I can't say for sure. There's plenty of reasons why that happens. It's all about connection, community, and consistency. I would say the 3 C's. I like that. You can't pre-plan a gimmick, unfortunately. The community finds something and latches on to it. It's the streamer's responsibility to figure that part out. It's absolutely adorable on me. You are adorable. So yeah, again, a full-time streamer. He doesn't ask for the bits and subs, but he is very appreciative, and he busts his butt doing what he does, and he streams a lot. I want to say every day, but I'm not positive. This particular streamer, I know there's like DJ Alpha. I know DJ Alpha streams every day. Tang Fever, how you doing? Looks great on you, but how would it look on Chuck? You talking about the hat or the dress? We'll have to work on that. Yeah, Tang, nice to see you in. And my very last one's a little drop here, little blob. It says this DJ is, right now they have, I think right now they have that promoting the sub thing right now. I think there was like half off on subs or whatever that was. Drop a message now. And then about taking advantage of the discount and saving money, and they let people know that the money can help them purchase more music to hear overall. So that's letting people know, yeah, hey, you drop some biddies, it gives me more money. I can afford to go out and buy more music, and in turn, that music will be there to be entertaining you. So that's a good thing. I'm not really sure. I know I've seen the the sub special thing. I'm not really sure how that worked or works, or if people are using that very much. But I know it's out there. And again, I got to say, I do appreciate the help and the support that these individuals took the time to type back and let me know their thoughts and feelings on biddies and subs. I mean, those of you that are regulars to my show, and I think pretty much all of you that are at least in the chat right now are regulars to my show, know that I have a love-hate relationship with Twitch. I truly enjoy streaming, but I have chips on my shoulders. There's certain things that just piss me off and make me mad. Things that I don't understand why. This person gets that and that person doesn't get that. And even if you want to dip into the drama, there was some drama going on my stream last night a little bit. all that stuff I really try to push aside, whether it be the biddies or the subbies or the drummies. And I try when I stream, I want to stream. I want to have a good time. I personally want to have fun. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. And I'm hoping that when I'm doing that and when I'm having a good time, that carries over to you, the viewer that are watching it. Radioactivity, same way, and whether those people that are enjoying my show choose to drop biddies and subs or not, that's entirely up to them. Of course, we all love the biddies. We all love the subs. I mean, there. If you're so independently wealthy, that a few bucks here or there, I mean, doesn't mean anything. God bless you. You know, for me, it's like, yeah, I can go out to dinner with the wife, or I can, you know, buy this, cool looking tie or something. It is very very helpful. I do appreciate that. Um, so I think um, I think that's I think I can close the door on biddies and subs. I know we've discussed it a little bit in a few of my other episodes, just kind of touch bases on it. But I think this is a little bit more in depth. Um, and unless I get any sort of major responses, which I do sometimes get emails or messages after a show about something that I can bring up. And you must say I look rather, except for the fact I didn't tuck my shirt in, but I went with a dashing look tonight. I thought, a vest and a tie and a shirt. Even though it's 91 degrees out here in beautiful Windsor, California, it's 91 degrees right now at 4:46. So yeah, that's it. That's it with the biddies and subs. Unless anybody in the chat, if you've got something else you want to drop about biddies and subs, if for some reason you're on the YouTube show and you listen to it and you want to drop something in the comments, rare, rarely happens, but if you do, that's a great place. I always do check it, and I respond to what I do get. DJ Apollo, I think it's very important to note that lack of bits and subs doesn't mean a lack of skill, entertainment, or value. I agree, because I have skill, entertainment, and value, and ego. Um, I was second readjusting my chair here. Yeah, and you're right, because again, we see some amazing DJs out there, and they don't get levels or hype trains or bits and subs. It's just that's it. Trish says it's the principle of getting the subs. It don't pay my bills when I use it to get it. Yeah, it's the principle, because if you're sitting there streaming, you're entertaining, you're showing your skill, you have value, and you're throwing that out there to people. Um, Getting a biddy or getting a sub, that's a little acknowledgement of all that stuff that Apollo was talking about. It's just a principle, as Trish says. So yeah, that's true. It's just a good way to support. I mean, I know there's a lot of DJs on Twitch, probably not as many as there was maybe a couple of years ago, but and a lot of people are watching multiple streamers, and it's hard for the viewers to support every freaking streamer that maybe they watch. I mean, there are times when I'm watching and I've got 3 or 4 different pages open, or whatever you call them, and I've got different DJs on, and I'm just bouncing around. I'm just bouncing around. It's tabs. Thank you, radioactivity. I got different tabs open up. Dance DJ Deb says that it shows that you appreciate the music if dropping the biddies and subs. And yes, that's true. Yeah, I'll have 3 or 4 different tabs open up, and I'll be watching different DJs. Maybe Dance DJ Deb's playing music, and then all of a sudden maybe she'll play a song like and I'll pop over to Apollo, or I'll pop over to Alpha, or I'll pop over to whoever. Latin House, or whatever. My buddy DJ Ryan 22, or Purple Stars, who I like. And it's hard to support every single one of those. DJ Apollo says there's lots of variables as to why and why not people give. Look at it from the viewer side. They may have a surprise expense. They may have a lost job. We as streamers never know what's going on behind the username on the screen. So it's the old bartender in me. Always appreciate and never expected. Yes, yes. Trish, you're touching on my buttons here, babe. Yes, Apollo, and both Apollo and Trish are making very, very good points right now. And Tang Fever, I'm always watching at least 2 Twitch streamers at a time. I won't take that personally, Tang. Yeah, I mean, and again, we've talked about this, and boy, do I really want to get into this again? This is the ego in me when I see other streamers getting a bunch of subs and biddies and stuff like that, and I'm not, and I think my show is as good or better, or at least is as good, and why are they not? I'm going to give a really quick example that I've given before. You've probably heard it before. I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest version. On a raid train, I'm on a raid train. This guy over here gets a bunch of subs and biddies, and he gets hype trains. It's his turn. He raids into me. I don't get anything. This person gets over here next to him, and within 3 minutes of me raiding them, they get a hype train stuff. But I'm in the middle. I get nothing. Both these guys on both sides get hype trains and bids. That hurt, why does have a limit on people you can follow? I have no idea why that is. But I see, Trish, I love raid trains. DJ 9 Iron, nice and welcome in. Thank you so much. I appreciate the bits. Another one of my favorite streamers. It really is. It's unfair, Trish. It is, and but not to be mean or cruel or whatever, but is life. I don't get it, and it has been one of those things that I have talked about endlessly on the show, and people are probably tired of hearing about it, and embarrassing, and DJing is what I do full time for a living. I'm out there, doing corporates and weddings and sound systems and stuff. That's what I do for a living. So I know that I don't suck, and I've been doing it for a long time. Then you get here and that happens, and you're like, DJ Ryan, 22. I'm glad you came in because I wanted to clarify something I said last week, and you called me on it. But yeah, that's we've talked about that before. But since my boy DJ Ryan, my Pookie, who lives not too far from me, is here, he called me out last week. I made a comment last week, and I'm glad Ryan's here. Apollo, thank you, I appreciate that. I made a comment last week about doing my privates, and we were talking, with my agent and all that kind of stuff. And I made a comment about, oh my gosh, I have a hype train. Okay. Thank you, guys. I made a comment last week about money, and I went out and I made $2,000 on an event on my wedding, and Ryan called me on it, and he said, "You're not making $2,000 on a WCE wedding," and he is right. Ryan likes doing my privates, and he's right. I don't make $2,000 every time I go out and do a show. For those of you that follow me on Facebook, you see I post a lot of pictures. I post a lot of hey, I'm at this event. Lockpick, dropping a 5-pack. Oh my gracious, my gosh, Lockpick, thank you so much. Tang was going to let that one go. The thing about streaming, anything can happen on any show. That is very, very true. Just, I got to send you more nudes? All right. And Lockpick says I guess I'll send him some more nudes. All right. But yeah, so Ryan, you're right. I don't. Trish, thank you for the biddies. Ryan, you're right. I don't make make $2,000 a show every time I go out. I mean, I'm doing a sound thing on Thursday. I'm making, I think, $700. You know, I'm doing a yacht rock show that we talked about earlier today. On Saturday, I'm making $1,200. So yeah, I don't make $2,000 a show. That is true. And I wanted to clarify that because I said it last week, and Ryan called me on it. DJ Steve Slick, how you doing? Welcome in. So Ryan, yes, thank you for keeping me honest on that one, Ryan. We're getting short on time. We may be going a little overtime on this one. DJ Dark Knight in the house, man. You streamers, welcome in. Ryan, if you're available, can you drop some shout outs for these cats? I do appreciate it. So. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing my privates. That's where I make my money. You know, not on biddies and subs, but I do appreciate them. It shows love, shows support for all the streamers that are out there. I did want to. We've talked about biddies and subs for about the last 45 minutes, maybe a little bit more. And as promised, last week I talked a little bit about my own personal DJ life. And I dropped a picture or so. There's a picture of me right there from one of my very first, well, not one of my very first, but back in the day when, this is probably back in, I want to say 74, 73, something like that, back in the day when I was doing school dances. And that was just, you know, kind of that one. And that's big show I used to do. But anyway, so I talked a little bit about my, what's that fuzzy stuff on my head? Yeah, I don't know. I really miss the fuzzy stuff on my head. I do. I had. Is there another one here? No, you can't really see it there. Yeah, that one. That's a great fuzzy stuff on my head picture. That's not a great fuzzy stuff. That's my old. That's what my show looked like when I was doing school dances. And there's now. So that's me right there with the glasses. That's me with hair. And these are the four guys who used to get together and do these DJ shows. So that was back in the 70s too. So, but anyway, so there's John Lennon again. Yes, Ryan thinks I look like John Lennon. I do appreciate everybody being here. You know, I was going to talk a little bit about my world of DJing, but we're kind of running short on time. The forefathers of Chuckwood Golf Resort. Yes, DJ 99. I've also seen the reverse. People who got huge support for years and now they're struggling. Yeah, I talked a little bit about that kind of at the beginning, 9 Iron. I think the heyday, you know, and you streamers that are in here, we have a bunch of streamers. I think the heyday was, you know, during the lockdown, right? When people didn't have a whole lot to do, they couldn't go out as much. They were stuck home here. Dance DJ Deb and DJ Apollo. My gosh, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Level 3 hype train. Wow. Thank you. Yeah, and I think those were the heyday of Twitch. At least for me. Now, back in those days, back in the day when we were shut down the first couple 2-3 years, and when we were all streaming, I was making what I called van payment. I was making about $350 a month, $350 a month. That was my normal Twitch payout, which was basically about my van payment. So that's pretty much what happened with that. So that was great. That hasn't happened for years now, but I think, you know, the lockdown ended. People went back out to their own world. Their lives happened, and Tennessee Girl, Mod Supreme in the house. I think, you know, I think that's what happened, you know, and now, you know, people are out and about and they have lives and they're spending their money on going out to dinner with the family. They're going out to movies. They're just, you know, living their lives. And so their money that maybe they had before, there maybe some of their, you can maybe define it as disposable income, maybe that was maybe making their way into the streamers, not doing that now. You know, it's going out to their family, and God damn it, family first, right? And I'll have to fix that at the end there. Hype Train, thank you so much. Sam Nation, again, thank you, appreciate that. Likability, the more you can check whether it's emote skills personally, etc., the more checks to more income, not necessarily viewers. Well, we talked about emotes a couple of people that I reached out to and gave me responses, 9 Iron, both talked about having a good emote game. If you've got great emotes, people are more likely to sub you and then resub you because they want to keep your emotes. They're pretty good. As I discussed about with my emotes, that my emotes are more personal oriented. I mean, like I say, most of my mods have emotes, but people like Dance Dance DJ Deb, she doesn't give a crap if she's got an emote with my wife's black sheep on it, or a picture of Tennessee Girl, or a picture of a Tina Baby, or a picture of Ryan, or Alice. That doesn't matter to her. Excuse me, and thank you for the mute button. The emote game was something that I had not thought about. The emote game was something that was brought up, and I didn't think about, but that's not unusual. me not thinking of something is not unusual. Sam Nation, I love that emote. I love the hummingbird emote. Or Mr. Lattenhouse, excuse me. And that's Sam Nation, whose emote that is. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, normally at this time of the day or the stream, I do a little thing called run to the chat. But I think we've run out of time for run to the chat because we're right at 1 hour. The people love the dancing emotes. They like the animated emotes more so than just your straight up emotes. That's true. Ryan, are you streaming tonight? Is Ryan, my boy DJ, my Pookie DJ Ryan, streaming 29? Usually streams at 8 o'clock on Tuesday nights. So I want to make sure that you're following DJ Ryan 22, or DJ 9 Iron 2. DJ 9 Iron is one of my most. Our times don't mesh up a lot. As with Sam Nation, Sam Nation seems to stream when I'm on the golf course, and 9 Iron seems to stream when I'm sleeping or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. But if you're not following those cats, make sure you do so. And if you're into raid trains, like I say, reach out to Mr. Lattenhouse or even Lockpick. I'm sure they're probably always looking for streamers for their raid trains. They both put on really fun, wonderful raid trains. I need to get back on the no pants Sunday raid trains because those are so much fun to do.
This is the No Pants Sunday raid train.
Yeah, I love that one right there. I love those. So anyway, that's a little plug for Lockpick and his raid trains right there. Tennessee Girl, thank you for coming in. Lockpick, thanks for hanging out. I do want to thank everybody again for the hype train's over. Thank you so much. I do appreciate the hype train. My gosh, really, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate it. So as I do, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do my closing, but then I'm going to just stream. I'm just going to play some music, and I'm kind of in a mashup mood today. So I'll as soon as I get done here, I'll be playing some mashups. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank Tennessee Girl, DJ Ryan, my mods for showing up. Lockpick, Mr. Lattenhouse, thank you so much. Coot, I appreciate you being here. Dance Dance, DJ Deb, DJ Hack, Sam Nation, Tang Fever, you lurkers all night. DJ Apollo, thank you for the support and the love. I appreciate it. Steve Slick, 9 Iron, Bass Crasher, Cano Cruz, DJ Dark Knight, thank you for coming in. Trish, I appreciate it. Hackman, John Deeds, My Salami, Radio After Dark, welcome. Sandwich, all my lurkers, I do appreciate it. And Techrum, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much, and we're out of here. Good night.
Thanks for listening to Chat with Chuck. Have something you want Chuck to riff about? Send him a whisper and get ready to be entertained. I'm Greg Murray. Thanks for listening.